That was bad. Forgot my microphone. All right. I'm getting ready to watch the final episode of season 3 of Attack on Titan. So there's still a lot of stuff left to figure out. So I don't know if we'll get it all here. Like if we get everything we need for the final season here, or if we're going to get some more stuff at the beginning of the final season, or if they're going to bring a whole new element. I don't know. That final season's a discussion for another day. I want to see, mainly if I get to see, what exactly the story is behind Reiner and Bertolt and Zeke being sent to Paradis, and maybe we get to find out the identity of the duck-faced Titan. I don't know. Pretty sure it's not Armin's mom. So maybe it's Erwin's mom. I don't know, just joking there. Let's get into it. I don't want to ramble on. And we're back atop that wall with Kruger and Grisha talking about the 9 Titans. I guess each Titan shifter has a unique name. Just kind of talking about like this innate drive to fight. The Attack Titan, a little bit of... Okay, so is the Attack Titan the one Owl's passing on? Yeah, I get a little confused on which is which. I guess the Founding Titan is who they were out to get. So the Attack Titan must be who Kruger, the Owl, passed on to Grisha, passed on to Eren. In last episode, we did learn how Eren can make contact with somebody with royal blood, and then that coordinate power works. Yeah, and I like that instruction that Kruger gave him. I mean, this is a recap of what we've already seen, but he told him you need to love someone inside the walls. That way it'll keep you focused, I guess, if you love people in there. But I love how, like, mind-blowing it was when he mentioned Mikasa and Armin's name. That really, really, like, has me speculating like crazy. Kruger himself doesn't even know why he knows those names. Oh, and here we see the young versions looking at that picture from Armin's grandpa. Okay, we're into the OP, so another cool cold opening. I'm just like so excited to see what this season finale is going to hold for me. But it's also a good time to mention that if you don't know already, I have a Patreon now. So if you're watching this video on Patreon, awesome, you rock. And if you might be interested in seeing what's going on in my Patreon, there's a link down in the video description. The Other Side of the Wall is the name of this finale. I love that title already. And we're back in that meeting with Zachary and all the government military types. And I guess Historia's there too, right? Oh, so now they're debating whether to continue suppressing knowledge. I mean, that was the crime of the Rice family, right? That they erased memories, which is a way of suppressing knowledge. And here they're talking about, yeah, Pixis is calling them out on it. Hey, you're trying to do the same thing that the Rice family did. Isn't that what we're trying to change here? Pixis is a cool character to follow all the way through. All the way from Tross to now. Yes, Historia making the decision. And you know, it's kind of cool coming from Historia because she's the queen, but she also has this sort of inner drive to change or to atone for the crimes of her family. Yes, I love it. She is being the leader that she needs to be here. Oh, and they're printing up the pamphlets, passing them out so everybody knows that they're Eldians and what it means. They know the true identity of the Titans. They know the situation. So how is the populace going to handle this rush of information? Letting everybody know everything. I like just kind of Levi hanging out up there by the window and peeking out to see how people are taking the info. We're having a little tea party going on here. Oh, wow. So they're kind of talking about how the Marleyans want to take their resources. And that's what the whole attack was on Shiganshina. Oh, man, I might be slow. Everybody else probably figured it out by now, but I'm kind of picking it up a little bit. Okay, we're going to get a report on how people are handling the information. It says, you know, they're all taking it different ways. I think it's understandable that some people would not believe it. They would think it wasn't true because it is a pretty fantastical sounding story. But end of the day, becoming chaotic is the final word he has on it. Oh, interesting. Talking about how are the taxpayers going to handle it. That's interesting. Didn't even think of it that way. But I like she's pointing out better than the old king because at least they're letting people make their own decisions. And I like it they brought back the reporters, the old guy and the young guy that we hadn't seen in a while. Oh, and Levi's playing the propaganda game. I don't know how Hanji's going to like that or how the reporter's going to like that. They've got this new free press, and now he's kind of telling them to whip up an article that's going to pat the current rulers on the back, so to speak. He's kind of a voice of reason here. How the Eldians appear as monsters to the rest of the people in the world. The real fear that this whole cycle could just happen again. You know, they leave and then they come back. Wow, even kind of like asking himself if it might be best for the world if the Eldians, if we get wiped out. Oh, Hitch is there. We haven't seen Hitch in a little while. Oh man, is she going to ask about Marlowe? Like, does she know what happened to Marlowe yet? You'd think the word would have gotten out, right? But is Jean going to have to break the bad news? No. I guess she knew, and he's just telling her that Marlowe was brave, which he absolutely was brave. Marlowe was dedicated. And Flock to give the first-hand account. But Flock is seeming like he's a little saucy here. I still don't know what to make of Flock. Good. He's saying he's telling the truth about Marlowe. Wonderful. Telling her the truth, how Marlowe inspired him to carry out the charge that Erwin ordered. I wonder, you can see the sadness in Hitch's eyes. How's she going to deal with no Marlowe? I do like this moment of sentimentality. Wow, Flock giving some complexity to Marlowe's nature too, to maybe reinforce Hitch that what she was saying to Marlowe, maybe he could appreciate. And then, you know, Hitch kind of playing it off with a little disinterest there at the end. Yeah, I like this. Flock says someone has to tell the truth. I'm glad he told the truth. I'm glad he told both sides of Marlowe's story. Though some of it's just his interpretation of what he could see. I kind of agree with what he said. Oh, so Armin is going to apologize to Flock for living. Or for being chosen over Erwin. Yeah, Flock's not backing down. He's sticking with what he thought in the moment. Though I feel like Flock's intent was a little bit malignant at the time. Yeah, it looks like everybody in the world of Attack on Titan is saying what most people in the comments are saying. Erwin should have been chosen, not Armin. But, you know, I'm sentimental. I'm going with my favorite character, Armin. Oh, let's see. Flock's calling it out. Saying emotions. But emotions for Levi are definitely more towards Erwin than towards Armin, right? Well, but it's still emotions because Levi wanted to let Erwin have rest. Okay. So, yeah, it was emotional all the way around. Sometimes emotional might be what you need. Once again, I'm just justifying my own point of view. I'm not trying to make a real logical, rational argument. Flock does not know Eren. Eren thinks you're always in the right. I think it's about the opposite. I think Eren's a little too self-critical at times. Flock calling him a brat. I'd like to see Eren slug him, kinda. Just for entertainment value. I think Flock has a right to speak his mind. It'd just be funny to see. Now, if you make Mikasa mad, it's all over, Flock. I like that, though. Flock went a little too far, and she took her arm off Eren's shoulder. Yeah, Connie's speaking some reason. Too late to do anything about it now. Wow, Flock putting everybody on blast. They're getting medals and a funeral, you know, of course, for a bunch of people, and Flock's a little less than satisfied with the situation. Understandable, even though I don't agree with Flock. Yeah, he feels hopeless without Erwin, but there's people there. Nobody lives forever. Everything is impermanent, Flock. You know, I spent a lot of time making fun of hairdos, but with Flock, I like the extra curl on top or whatever, that extra layer of fluff. I think it's kind of cool. Oh, Armin, yeah, self-deprecation's kind of a running theme here. Armin himself is going to regret being saved. He was prepared to die And then he came back unexpectedly, so he didn't ask for it. One person you can't blame for any of this is Armin. I mean, he was just a charred near corpse when it happened. He didn't argue on his own behalf in any way. Eren's being reasonable here too. He's saying, I can't say if it's the right decision or not. We just have to see what the future holds. Oh, wow, and Levi just kind of lurking behind that column there, listening in, eavesdropping. The sea, yeah, bring him back up the beach volleyball. You know, put a little Tropicana suntan oil on you, slap on your Speedo, dance around on the beach hitting that volleyball back and forth. Top Gun all the way down. So, yeah, Eren kind of with that realization that beyond the walls isn't really any better than inside the walls. The fight never stops. The fight absolutely never stops. Oh, I like Historia in her regal garb there to bestow the medals. Kind of cool. Maybe I should get a robe like that just to wear around the house. Pretend I'm the king of something. Faux fur, though, you know. I don't want to drop a fortune on my robe. I'm not actually a king. Oh, I like the medals. They have the wings of freedom on them. They kind of look like a bolo tie. Now that is a stylish medal. I've never gotten a medal that looked like a bolo tie. Yeah, everybody's still really tense about ending this cycle, which seems very dangerous to repeat itself, and I can understand. I think it's an understandable concern. Relatable. I like this, though. Eren, no, even though an argument could be made to sacrifice Historia for the greater good, he won't do it. He's not going to tell anyone the secret of his power, which means somehow they're going to find out, right? Oh, when he touched her hand, he's getting some kind of insight. So Grisha let the Rice family know exactly who he is and exactly that he knows the truth. And of course, you know, the sister, I've forgotten her name, but she knows the truth because she inherited these memories when she took the power from her uncle. Is this going to show her, like, kind of consenting suddenly to be consumed by Grisha? I wonder if it's giving us some new insight there with Historia's sister. But I love this. He's kind of got the same memory power that Historia has. Like, he touched her hand and he got the same kind of thing like she got when she touched Amir's letter. Oh, and we've got this really, really nice info card about intent for the future that I'll have to read. Snow falling. The sledge quit falling when the snow started falling. So some time is passing here. Yeah, we've gone through winter, back to spring. No more Titans in or around Walmaria. They've taken back all their lost territory. Rebuilding. But they're rebuilding within the walls when I really feel like their aspirations are beyond the walls. But it is nice seeing the refugees get back home, seeing the land come. This means that the food stress, the resource stress has to be relieved a bit. People have some breathing room. But I'm just curious, 6 years have gone by. But I'm just curious with all this new knowledge that's been released, how long are they going to be satisfied within the walls, right? I mean, that's got to be what the next season's about. Curious how eventful these expeditions are now that they know more and understand more technology. Wow, they have seriously reduced the population of Titans, and I wonder if in Marley they've kind of stopped turning Eldians into Titans. Like maybe there's not so much of an influx. Maybe they've nearly extinguished all the Eldians in Marley at this point. Oh, what's he looking at? The birds again. Birds are always flying through the sky here. The freedom represented by their flight, something aspirational for the people within the walls, the caged birds. Something monumental's got to happen here, right? We're not going out on an expedition for nothing. Are they going to find Zeke and Reiner? Bertolt again? Well, not Bertolt, obviously. Zeke and Reiner and Amir. Of course, Amir's probably had her power passed on to somebody. Oh, what in the world is up with this chubby bubby? So that must be a new a new transformed Titan with that kind of lack of mobility, but the grass is growing behind it, so it's been crawling a long time. It's like a tiny version of the Lord Rice Titan. Poor little chubby bubby with those arms and legs that can't move, big old head. It's like a baby, you know? Yeah. Eren's hair's getting longer. He doesn't quite look like I remember. And I think Phlox quit using the mousse in his own hair. But yeah, still new Titans are coming over, so I guess they're close to the beachhead where the new Titans land that are shipped over from Marley, or wherever they're shipped over from. You don't really need to kill that one. It's not going to run up behind you and attack. Of course, it might be doing it a mercy by putting it out of its misery. But yeah, they can follow its belly drag all the way back to where the landing site is. Yeah, we're in that sandy part we remember from like Amir's transformation. I don't know if that's like beach dunes or desert dunes. But I think we're going to get some volleyball. There's that wall, that famous wall where they turn them into Titans, you know, give them the serum up at the top and kick them down. There's the docks. They found it. They found the sea, and it does not look conducive to volleyball. I think I totally missed that prediction. I love it that Eren has this inherited memory, though, so now they know what they're seeing. But they found the beachhead. If they want to build boats and go looking for Marley, they can do it now. I don't know if they have any boat building knowledge. I have to put Hanji and Armin to work on figuring that out. I love that look of amazement on Armin's eyes as they finally see the sea. So now that Armin's seen the sea, is he no longer have anything to be drunk on, anything to pursue? It is serene. Oh, Hanji got the eye patch I've been waiting for. That is a butt-kicking eye patch on Hanji. 2 thumbs up for Hanji's eye patch. But look at the amazement. They're picturing themselves reading that book on that wall by the sea, looking at the pictures from Armin's grandpa's book, I think is where they got it. Oh, feet, toes in the ocean. His first conch shell. Everybody remembers their first conch shell after a near apocalypse. So I guess this is what we saw in like Eren's thoughts at the beginning of the first episode of this season. Was it this season? I think so. It might be poisonous. Don't touch it. They don't have any idea about sea life because they've been behind those walls. They haven't had any education about it other than maybe whatever was in the book that Armin had. Everybody's loving this, but no volleyball net. Next best thing is just playing and splashing and collecting seashells, right? They found Myrtle Beach. Next thing you know, saltwater taffy. It feels good to see these kids, I call them kids, it feels good to see them realize their dream, but I know there's got to be some tragedy. Something big's got to happen here, right? Like, is a big ship going to come over filled with prisoners and they have to run? Oh, so Eren right there on the other side of the sea is freedom. But couldn't they have freedom on their island without going and picking a fight? Or I guess they feel like they have to get rid of the Marleyans and they're programmed to seize the resources or they'll never be free. It's like that thing, you got to conquer the world in self-defense. I once heard that a historian said Rome conquered the world in self-defense. That might be how they feel right here. You know, they got to mount an attack against Marley. Once they take Marley, then they'll be attacked by whatever cities beyond Marley, etc., till you get world domination. Or die trying. It's like, he says if we kill all our enemies, but when that's your mentality, you tend to never run out of enemies. You know what I'm saying? Maybe there was something to being in the walls, except they got attacked. But yeah, when your goal is to kill all your enemies, you just never seem to run out of enemies, sadly. Pretty poignant wrap-up to the season. I expected something big, something dramatic, some kind of cliffhanger to pop up out of the sea. And I love this quiet, slow, orchestral ending music as these final credits come up. Of course, I'm going to watch all through the credits and see if we have some kind of teaser there at the end. I don't know what to expect from the final season exactly, But from Eren's statements, I think there's war. Like, they're going to invade Marley. And like I said, if they defeat Marley, they're probably going to find out that Marley has allies. Like, you never run out of enemies when your goal is to defeat all your enemies. Even if they did, then all of a sudden civil war, you know? That's kind of, once again, what happened with Rome. Kind of our great classical example of a grand empire is always Rome. Plus, I've been listening to a history audiobook, so it's on my mind. I do love these scenes of people reacting to the news. Oh, wow, showing deaths and the pain. The blood and the rain from all the fallen troops. A real nice, like, journey through everything that's taken us to get to this point in the ending. And then, like, all the stars aligned to kind of represent the coordinate power, I think, there. Like what Amir saw when she first returned to human form out in the desert, I guess. There's Armin's conch shell, proof that the sea exists. Now he doesn't have anything to be drunk on. Oh, and it says to be continued. So some beautiful images in the closing, but I guess that's it. That's all we got, huh? So just gonna say, I loved it. I'm gonna have so much to say. I really gotta pour over the details of these last 4 episodes. Try to come up with a good review episode for these last 4 episodes. Try to kind of come up with my mindset going into the final season and my thoughts, what maybe I'm expecting, kind of a mindset for the final season. I understand it's a change in animation studio. I've had recommendations on different ways to watch season 4 I'll talk about in the review. Maybe have some other little bonus stuff between now and getting into the final season. But I just got to say, I can't wait to get into it. I'll talk to you all soon. I'm proud of you for watching anime.
I just want to give a big shout out to everybody who supports the channel on Patreon. I really appreciate it, and you make this much easier and more fulfilling to do. If anyone wants to see what's going on with the Bruce Leslie Anime Dad Patreon, there's a link in the video description.